Hello, thank you for watching my video. Today this video is about an excursion that we took while on Carnival Horizon. It was booked through Carnival. It is called the Top 10 Best of Aruba. And some of the places we ride by and some of the places we actually stop and get out. I will put a list in the description of the places that we got out or rode by. Bye-bye cruise ship. Hello, Aruba. Oh my goodness, this taxi is... He's not stopping. Look at the people still coming out. We were in the right place at the right time. We were ready.
Huh?
We were ready. Aren't you glad we were organized? There's the ship.
That guy still up there, the 10 best of Aruba.
Well, that bus is still waiting.
So there'll be several buses here.
Yeah. Yeah, you going to? I'll hold it down.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all once again and welcome to Aruba. My name is Melvin and I'm going to be your driver for this tour. As you know, we're going on a 4-hour tour and we will be making different stops. But there is something I need you to do for me. Something very important. It's very simple, but it's very important. Just memorize your bus number. That's because we have many buses on the road today, and there might be several buses on each of our stops, and we don't want you to get in the wrong bus. So your bus number is number 70. And if possible, also memorize your seat number. That's in case you drop something or you forget something in the bus. That will make it easy for me to find it for you, and I will make sure that you get it back before the ship leaves.
Okay, thank you.
You know, if you forget, for instance, if you forget your phone in the bus,
whoa, look at that Equinox,
just go to the Shorex, you tell the
is that the one
Shorex,
with
I've
the...
been in bus number 70 with
Is that the one
Melvin,
with the elevator?
and my seat number was 41.
If it is, it's on the other
I
side.
will make sure that you get it back before the ship leaves.
Huh?
We have also some rules on the bus that you have to follow. Rule number 1, it is not allowed to smoke in the bus. Rule number 2, it is not allowed to fight in the bus. If you really need to beat up someone, you let me know. I'll stop the bus. The fighters will get outside, and after the fight, the winner will get back on board. Rule number 3, it is not allowed to bring alcoholic beverage on board the bus. But if you bring for the driver, he will consider it. I am just kidding. You can bring anything you want on board the bus. I mean, food and drinks, as long as you dispose of it in a proper manner on the next stop. We just left our harbor, which means we are ready to start our tour. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the tour, because I promise you I'm going to give you the tour of your life. And I'm a man of my word. If you don't believe me, I can give you the phone numbers of all my 6 ex-wives. You can call them and ask them. Our harbor is located in Orionstad. Orionstad is the capital of Aruba. Orionstad is a Dutch word for orange town. That is the name that the Dutch put to our capital when they conquered our island centuries ago. Aruba was conquered by the British, by the French, by the Spanish, and the last ones to conquer our island are the Dutch. And up to this day, we are still part of the Dutch kingdom. Aruba is located only 15 miles away from the coast of Venezuela. It is so close that when we have extremely good weather, we can see Venezuela from here with the naked eye. I say extremely good weather because we have good weather every single day. It's like this 365 days a year. This island of Aruba is a very, very small. I think you all know that this is a tiny island, but perhaps you don't know exactly how small it is. We have only 19.6 miles in length and 8.6 miles at the widest point of the island. At the moment, we have 130,000 inhabitants in Aruba. We have a regular temperature of between 80 to 84 degrees all year round, except for this month, September, where temperatures can go up to 90 degrees. September is the hottest month of the year. The official language here in Aruba was the Dutch language for over a century. And in the year 2003, the government of Aruba have decided to change it for our own native language, which is called Papiamento. And the Papiamento is a mixture of 7 different languages. English, Dutch, Spanish, Portuguese, German, French, and African. So you take 7 languages, you blend them, and you get our Papiamento. And this language is only spoken in 3 small islands in the entire world, which are the ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. Is that the German Shepherd? Yes. We have only 18 inches of rainfall a year. So you can imagine with 18 inches of rainfall, it's impossible to have rivers or lakes. So where do you think we get our fresh water from? That is correct. We have a desalination plant for 95 years now. We take the water from the ocean, it goes through a long process, and the final product is one of the finest and cleanest waters in the entire world. We have been doing this for a long time, so you can imagine we have a lot of experience doing this. And you can imagine the amount of salt that is left after processing hundreds of thousands of tons of water. Now, what do you think we do with all that salt? Now, we use a small, yes, that is correct. We use a small part of it for margaritas, and the rest we use it to melt the snow in the winter. We throw it back in the ocean and we import salt from the USA. Now you're going to ask yourself, are you kidding me, right? No. Because according to our engineers, in order to keep nature in balance, you have to throw it back in the ocean. To be honest with you, to me it doesn't make any sense since the ocean is so big. But I'm not an engineer. We just hope they know what they're doing because they can save us tons of money. Gasoline price at the moment in Aruba, $6 a gallon.
Wow.
Well, it was $7.40 in January, but now the price is coming down very, very slowly. If you think that's expensive, try fresh milk, $9 a gallon of fresh milk.
Wow.
That's why most people on this island drink beer instead of milk.
Cactus.
You know, I always wondered why milk is so expensive since we got many, many cows on this tiny island. We got 6 cows in total. You know, it's very expensive to keep a cow here since you have to order food for the cow, and you know cows, they eat a lot. Because it hardly rains here, you know where you're gonna get food for these cows, so you have to import food, and that's what makes it very, very expensive. Almost everything on this island is imported. But During this tour, you will notice that we have these trees you see here all over this island. We have hundreds of thousands of these trees on this island. This is the famous Kuihi tree. You spell it K-W-I-H-I, Kuihi. And the Kuihi tree, there are 4 different species of these trees, and the Kuihi is by far the biggest of the family. We have the Kuihi, we have the Ubada, we have the Watapana, and we have also the Divi Divi. The Divi Divi tree is Aruba's national tree. And how do you recognize the Divi Divi tree? Well, it's always bended in the direction of the wind. The wind blew from the northeast direction.
What?
Here, there's the air.
Mezz'ora. There was a time about 35 years ago that we used to burn up to 7,500 barrels of fuel oil every day to keep that plant running. But we have been cutting down slowly, and now we are at about 2,500 barrels. And the plan is to be at zero by the year 2030. And why? Well, because we are using more and more solar panels and windmills. Like for instance, this is our international airport. You can see in front of the airport there is a huge parking lot, and the entire rooftop is covered with solar panels. And these solar panels, they generate enough electricity to supply the entire airport and also about 200 houses around the airport. And we have also many windmills, and they generate about 10.6% of the total electricity we need on a daily basis. We are also using a new technology at our plant to produce electricity and also fresh water.
Taco Bell.
You will see also that we have a lot of cactus on this island. In this area you don't have many cactus, but on our way to the natural bridge and also at the Rock formation you will see thousands of cactus. And we have also 4 types of cactus, and the most popular one is the tall one that you see all over this island. This cactus is called the Oregon pine cactus, and also the candle cactus. What's the currency? The Arubian fluorine, that's our money, and the exchange rate is 1.75, which means that $1 is worth 1.75 of our money. But the dollar is accepted everywhere you go on this island, so you don't have to go to the bank to buy the Aruban currency. And whatever you pay for, you can get your change back in US dollars if you wish so. Somebody dropped some garbage in front of the truck. What ocean is that you see on the right side? Say it again? Yes, that's the Caribbean Sea. Aruba is completely surrounded by the Caribbean Sea. here. I think just like you guys have, you have income tax, you have property tax, you have sales tax, and we pay also, everybody pays for the medical insurance that we have. We have a general medical insurance, which means that everybody on this island is entitled to that insurance. The only requirement is legal status. You need to have a legal status, and you are entitled to death insurance. By the way, that's our desalination plant. You see there on the right. That's a part of it. 6.1% of your monthly income will be deducted every month to cover the health insurance. And it's a very good health insurance because it can apply for citizenship. And the only requirement is that you need to have a regular income, or you need to have a job here. Let's say, for instance, you decide one day you want to come and live in Aruba. The only thing you have to show the government is that you are maybe a landlord, or you whatever income you have, but it's a steady income, so you don't have to go on Social Security. And that's it. You can apply for citizenship. And the only requirement is that you need to have a regular income. But this island is quite expensive, you know, since we don't produce anything here, we don't grow anything here. Everything is imported. That makes the island very expensive for some people. We are going to pass through what we call the Frenchman pass. Believe me, there is not much to see there, but it has a history. That's why it's called the Frenchman pass. There was a time that there was a lot of gold to be found here in Aruba, and gold was found here for the first time in the year 1824 by a young guy. He was about 16 years old when he found some gold, and then people became aware that there was gold to be found here. And white bird there, what kind of bird is it? Is it? No, right there, look. Right there.
Snowy eagle.
I don't know. Just first time I see this bird. And knowing that we have 130 different species of birds on this island. Yes, tigers, lions, bears. I'm kidding. We don't have those animals. Not even in our zoo do we have these animals. We have small animals like we have wild goats, wild sheep, wild donkeys. We have wild rabbits. But the rabbits are so difficult to see during daytime because, you know, rabbits, they don't deal much with the sunlight. But as soon as the sun starts going down, you will see the rabbits start leaving their holes in search of food, and then people will shoot them and kill them because people love to eat wild rabbit meat on this island. Look up there, you see that building over there? That was a gold mine. It cannot be reached by bus. You need a 4x4 vehicle, or you need a motorcycle, or you can even go walking. Power soup. If you eat a good bowl of iguana soup, you can stay active for 3 days. That's what I said. And we have also 130 different species of birds, and also we have 3 types of snakes. We have a small garden snake which we call what's the name again? Santanero. That is a small garden snake. They have 4 or 5 different colors, bright colors. They're beautiful snakes, and they are not dangerous. They're not poisonous, and they feed on insects. So if you have a couple of these snakes around your house, please don't kill them because they will help you keep your house free of insects. They need all types of insects. And the other snake we here is the rattlesnake, which is a very dangerous and venomous snake. But it will be very, very difficult for you guys to meet face to face with one of these dangerous snakes someday. Because for more than 30 years now, our park rangers, with the help of the public, they have been taking all these snakes in captivity. And the reason why they have been doing this is because we have many tourists that come to Aruba to go hiking, and you know, we don't want them to get bitten by one of these dangerous snakes. Because you know, if you get bitten by one of these snakes, you have a couple of hours to get medical attention. Otherwise, you can be in serious trouble. You can even die if you don't get medical attention in time. So that's why we have been doing this. And the other snake we have here is the boa constrictor. The boa constrictor is not originally from Aruba, but some idiot had brought one of these snakes from Venezuela in his suitcase. You know, we wonder how he got through the customs with that snake, but he did. Oh, by the way, this is a Little League baseball park. So this guy, he came with his snake and he was showing off all over with his snake across his shoulder. But this idiot didn't know that it was a boa constrictor until this animal started to grow non-stop. And before you know it, he had a 6-foot monster in his house as his pet. And he became aware that it was very dangerous to have a huge snake in your house, because you know, these snakes, they are so powerful, they can wrap themselves around you and kill you. So this guy, he decided to get rid of the snake, but he made one big mistake. Instead of killing the snake, he just gave the snake its freedom. And unfortunately, this species of snake, the boa constrictor, they belong to the family of snakes that does not require a partner for reproduction. And in 1 year, people started seeing baby boas here and there, and in 3 years' time, we were in trouble. We were facing the same problem that they are facing right now in Florida with the pythons and the crocodiles. We had these giant snakes all over this island, and they were doing a very severe damage to our fauna. Many of our animals in the wild started to disappear, because you know, snakes, they eat everything that moves. And that was not the only problem. When they cannot find food in their habitat, they will approach your house. So many people have lost their dogs, cats, birds, whatever pet they have at home at the hands of these giant boas. And that's when people decided that this is too much. So they decided to start a massive hunt against these boas. And how did they do it? During weekends, friends, they joined together to form groups of 10, 15 people, and armed with machetes and rifles, people go out looking for boas, and they have killed in 3 months' time over 1,000 boas. You know, these guys, they have done such a wonderful job, and because I haven't seen a boa over a year. But before that, you could see a boa. During a tour like this, you can see easily 10, 15 boas crossing the street in front of you. And I will always kill them, run them over with the bus. Before people started killing these boas, you gotta find the boa in your clothes dryer, in your washing machine, underneath your bed, in your car, in public buses, in supermarkets, in schools, all over this island you had these animals. But I don't think we will see any during this tour. These guys, they have done such a wonderful job. And you know, you still have people walking around showing off with belts that they have made out of the skin. The boas, some people make bags, whatever people want to make with these skins. If it's big enough, they can do it. Start of living, I guess.
What's the cost to register your
Okay, follow me, please. You see how tall the cactus grow in here? This is what I told you, the organ type cactus, but I call it the stupid cactus. You know why? The cactus never stops growing. We will just keep it growing.
Dude, I'm twisted. Going. You'll be in the mish.
This light is all you got about.
Why'd you put your thing up? You should have told me. You might have to have internet.
Oh, there are so many people here.
I thought you was fixing to open the gate. I thought, what? Place, rock formations and a cave.
It's a mixture of 7 different languages, like a dialect. You know, we have so many cactus on this island, and we don't have any use for the cactus. Like in Curacao, I don't know if you guys have been to Curacao, you're going now to Curacao, but in Curacao they make a soup out of this cactus, and also they make a liquor.
I got pictures of the timer.
And some people use the cactus here in Aruba to build a fence, like you can see here on the right side of the bus. People who, most of the time, people who have animals, people who keep animals like goats, sheep, they build a fence out of the cactus, you know, to keep the animals in. And some people use it also to build a beautiful fence, not like this. And if it's done correctly, believe me, it can be beautiful. And besides that, it's a cheap fence because you don't have to pay for the cactus. You can go anywhere, you cut the cactus at the desired length, you dig a hole, maybe a foot and a half, you put in the cactus, throw in some water, cover that with sand, and that's it. You will never ever have to worry about the cactus again because the cactus will take care of itself for the rest of its life. And besides that, you will have a maintenance-free fence because you never have to paint it. The cactus will always be green. Only when they become old, they will start getting the brownish color. And in the third place, the cactus, if you build a fence with a cactus, it comes with a built-in alarm system. Somebody tries to jump your fence, if they don't make it, you will know. Well, this is not a rich area. If you go to the Malmok area, the Eagle area, you see many houses with swimming pools, but this area, we don't have rich people living in this area. And you know, to build a pool is not cheap in the first place, and you need to do maintenance. You have to clean it regularly, especially with this dry weather. You know, you have to be cleaning the pool every day, and it's going to cost a lot of money. Well, you know, everybody has air conditioning here in Aruba because, you know, you cannot sleep with this heat. And I think the average is about maybe 150 to 200 US a month. That's the average. But some people pay more, but it all depends how much you use. The more you use, the more you pay. Just like the water bill. You know, every single house on this island has running water from the desalination plant. We have hundreds of thousands. I'm gonna make a drive-by, but in case you want to leave the bus to make some pictures, you let me know and I will stop. You can see that this place looks like a fort, and that was the intention. When they built it, the plan was to make it look like a fort. You know, to give pirates the impression that there are soldiers here present. But it didn't help much because they still took away more than 6 tons of gold from this island.
these are old
They have the sign
ruins,
there, no trespassing.
and really neat.
And you have people look. People climb all the way to the top.
Yeah, we're not getting off here.
Nobody want to go up? Nobody wants to commit suicide.
No trespassing. Breeze and other.
Yeah, suicide.
Maybe a couple more days. Then we'll see. Used to take a shortcut, that bridge, to get there, but now you have to go all the way around. I will show you where the bridge was. I will show you the remains of the bridge that collapsed. And people would have to add concrete and iron bars to it, that it will not be a natural bridge. That is the natural bridge, the baby bridge. Okay, so now, if
you're a tourist, you get back. Unless you're a tourist, you get back.
Nice turquoise water.
Got it.
Dutch, and up to this day, we are still part of the Dutch kingdom. Sometimes people make things up. Sometimes people get confused when I say that Aruba belongs to the Dutch kingdom. It does not mean that the Netherlands is our owner or our boss, but we belong to the Dutch kingdom. And Aruba used to belong also to the Netherlands Antilles. If you have ever heard of the Netherlands Antilles, that was a constellation of the 6 islands. And just like you have 50 different states that form the USA, we had 6 islands that together were forming the Netherlands Antilles. These 6 islands are, okay, let me see, who knows? Aruba,
Bonaire,
Bonaire, Curacao,
Brantford,
St. Martin,
St. Martin,
Saba, St. Eustatius. These last 2 are not known. Very, very tiny island. Saba, for instance, I think at the moment they have 1,800 people living on that island, and they have 4 police officers enforcing the law on that tiny island. It's a very small but beautiful island. So the Netherlands Antilles consisted of these 6 islands I just mentioned, and but they were formed. The Netherlands Antilles was formed by the Queen of the Netherlands many years ago.
Arts. My name is Lucky, not a full-blown glass blower yet. Here we have Irma, professional glass blower. Alright. And we're going to be making a flat fish for everybody to see today. We're going to be explaining a little bit of what's going on. Typically, I'd usually say that giving a live presentation on handling hot folding glass isn't really a good idea, but I'm going to be doing exactly just that in a couple of minutes. So, a little context, this oven, a little toasty, just 1,100 degrees Fahrenheit. We're inside, there is a ceramic crucible, fancy way of saying bowl, filled with a hot golden glass. And those who cannot see inside of it, they didn't get front row seats. It's just a bigger version of this. We're inside, there's a pool, glowing hot glass. That's what it looks like when it cools down. It's called glass blowing for quite a literal reason. These are hollow stainless steel pull pipe fittings. There we go. Filled with the hot, oh well, not filled, yes. Where if we want, we can gather the hot glass around at the tip, blow into it. Good morning, I haven't had my coffee yet. Blow into it, and then you'll be able to make any form of jar, vase, glass, bottle, jug, plates. So whenever he is ready, we can preheat this pole in order to make sure that it's nice and hot, nice and sticky, so that we can gather a nice product. He didn't like to stick down. Always the short one. There you go. So, make sure that it's nice and hot. Preheat it for like a couple of seconds. This makes sure that the glass will want to stick to it, so that whenever he is ready, we open it up, and he dips it into the pool of hot molten glass, spins very, very quickly, then a nice little gather of glass forms around in the center. It is glowing orange, but it's just glowing red hot. Who would have thought? Here you can see it. Very, very lively thing. You have to treat it like your favorite ice cream on a hot summer day, or else you risk letting it drip or droop over. We kind of want to avoid that. We want to keep it centered. So currently dipping it into some colored glass that is surprisingly red, believe it or not, and then some greens and some yellows. So the way that you can get glass is it's actually made out of sand. But not any type of sand. You can't go to your local lake, river, beach, forest, desert, swamp, backyard, scoop up a bunch of sand and throw it in a furnace of over 2,100 degrees Fahrenheit for 4 hours to then get glass. It needs to be something called specifically silica sand, which turns out to be just quartz. Take quartz, erode it, crush it down, grind it down, what have you. You'll be able to turn said particulate matter, i.e. sand, into glass. You can't do the same thing when it is just quartz though for some reason. something about crystalline structures, different melting points. I'm not a mineralogist, I don't know what you're talking about. I kind of trust them to do their thing. So dipping it twice, this is how we make sure that the brush strokes are a little thicker, get the color nice and bright, nice and vibrant, and then putting it back in. So the way that we can get colored glass in order for us to color this glass with the colored glass, that's a nice little tongue twister to practice. We can add a variety of different metal oxides to the silica sand we previously just mentioned. Each metal oxide corresponding to a color. Selenium for green, cobalt for blue, cadmium for orange, etc., etc. In fact, it is an extremely finicky and annoying process in order to make colored glass. That's why the Murano glass artists are so proud of having pieces with multiple colors throughout one piece, because they make it from scratch. A milligram of a difference, a fraction of an ounce, could render an entire batch incompatible and thus utter trash, because it will always lead the piece to form a crack, which kind of don't want it to happen. So here, you saw me roll it out on something we call marble. It's just a stainless steel sheet. It used to be marble a couple of months ago, but then it cracked as well. Purpose remains the same. We make it nice and smooth, elongated, and the outside surface area cools down very quickly, allowing it to retain the shape that we just tried to give it. So, as I'm sure all of you know, glass does not like going cold, hot, hot, cold, right? It doesn't like being hot either. Imagine having that as a complete life. So, loves to cool down very, very, very quickly, especially in typically windy and humid environments. I wonder where we are. So, we only have around 30 to 40 seconds in order to safely handle, shape, manipulate, cut the piece before we can throw it back in the furnace. In fact, if you leave it outside at ambient room temperature, within 5 minutes cracks will sort of floor, sadly, it can't melt away said cracks. Over here, we use a combination of waxed stainless steel tools and wet wooden tools in order to manually shape and handle the piece. This is going to be the main body of this flat fish. Nice little lollipop shape. I guarantee you it only tastes warm. Throwing back to the furnace, making sure it stays nice and hot. Each gust of wind pulls it down by an annoying margin that we can very easily notice. The next step is he's going to be making the mouthpiece of this fish. And at the same time, we're going to be preparing some separately made glass eyeballs. We're going to be preparing it for the organ transplant. Unlike flesh organs that need to be nice and cold, glass organs need to be nice and hot. So this way, we make sure the glass doesn't shatter. That's what organ rejection looks like with glass bodies. And this is also how we kill 100% of all the bacteria. Make sure that it's nice and sterile. So he's making sure that this piece is nice and hot enough in order for him to be able to easily pull out the mouthpiece. If you walk over with him, he uses the little tongs in order to make sure that's nice and flat. And very carefully he pinches and pulls twice in order to make the lips of this fish. Now pictures on one of the days it didn't shave. Rough. So, I've no more chips. Make sure it's nice and sticky, nice and hot. In order for the glass eyes to go out of it. It's a very, very precise and careful procedure. He pinches it, places it down. I didn't make it hot enough. He's screaming internally. And now that it has the eyes, it can see both the beauty and horror of the ocean. There you go. As you can see, even though we added some greens, yellows, and oranges, it's a weird little deep brown. It turns out, just like people, it tends to not show its true colors until it cools down. So, I'm going to be committing a very, very grave sin for all presenter laws and rules. I'm going to need to turn my back towards the audience. My apologies. Because I'm going to need to help in catching the extra glass. And simple pieces such as this fish that take under 10 to 15 minutes on average, it requires a minimum of 2 people in order to add all the gas and add all the details. The more complex the piece, the more hands you need, and of course, the more time that it takes. Some pieces in there require 3 people and an hour and 45 minutes in order to make one single sculpture. So while he adds all the details, I'm going to be repeating the same the fins of this fish. Got it. So once nice little greaves. Putting it in here, also making sure that it's nice and long. Now we're going to need to be coordinating our efforts. This piece needs to be nice and warm, but not too hot where it loses all the details. Right? This needs to be really hot to the point where it shoots over. Now we're going to be placing our hot long rods in a tight enclosed space, maintaining close yet very respectful distance, hoping our tips never touch. There's totally not a joking there somewhere. And then we're going to need to make sure that whenever heat is ready, you will let me know. And I'll very, very quickly walk over so that we can work on the first set of fins. The way we know how hot it is by how much it moves inside of this furnace. So it's adding a nice tiny little details. He's supposed to vocally let me know so that I don't have to look at him, but he likes to just nod. And I noticed that in the corner of my eye. See? Quickly walk over, places it at an angle, moves it down. Nice little snip. Nice little cuts, 2 squeezes, and you have the first vestiges of a fin. If you're wondering, presenter, vestiges, what are you talking about? You know Finding Nemo? The underdeveloped fish? Those are vestiges of a fin. Now the fashions make you look professional. Now we repeat the same process, but the next step is we're going to be making the mohawk of the fish.
Where the richest of the richest on this island can afford to live. You have big mansions in here that cost millions and millions of US dollars. There is a huge house in here that belongs to Oprah Winfrey. We have some celebrities that own properties here at Tierra del Sol. There is, if you can see that house, it's a 3-story house that belongs to Oprah. Okay, you'll be able to see it. Look at right there.
Wow.
And there, yes, I got 2 houses in there. Pandemic. Because you know, since we are a part of the Dutch Kingdom, the Netherlands, they felt that they are responsible for our well-being, and so we got 1.6 billion euros from the Netherlands, you know, to help us survive, and we made it through the pandemic. And that money was not a gift. It was a loan. We have to pay it back. But the good part is 1913, the government of Aruba had decided to build this lighthouse to warn other ships not to come close to shore. It's dangerous.
California Lighthouse, Aruba.
celebrities that own properties here at the Mellock. On your right, you will see a shipwreck.
Oh, that's what it is.
That used to be a German warship called Antaeus, which was sank by the Americans during the Second World War. It was miles out, but in the year 2001, there was a hurricane close by, and we got some effect of that hurricane. So this entire area was flooded, was underwater, and because it rained for 2-3 days, and the sea, the ocean brought the remains to shore, and the government of Aruba decided to leave it there because they know that someday it will be an attraction for snorkeling, for people who love snorkeling, and that is indeed what happened. People say that it has around it, it has created around it, and the inside of it, beautiful sea life. There's so many different animals that live inside that shipwreck. There are so many turtles swimming around that shipwreck also. Incinerator where we burn garbage, we turn garbage into energy, and next to it we have a factory where they smash all these cars, old cars, and we press them into blocks of metal and they export them. This hotel here is by far the most expensive on the island. This is the Ritz-Carlton. In the high season you can pay as much as $1,600 US for one night for a presidential suite. And there is where most bus drivers spend their vacations. And this is the Marriott Stellaris and Casino. There's a famous steakhouse located inside this hotel, this Ritz. And that's a regular resort, but next to it we have another Marriott. That's the Marriott Ocean Club, and that big one is the Marriott Surf Club. And these two are time sharing. You can easily pay $5 for a beer, $5-6 for a beer, and because this is a very expensive area, this is the high-rise hotel area. But if you go to a supermarket, you buy a beer. You can buy a beer for $2 or less than $2. have the Barcelo, this one, and next to the Barcelo you have the building.
He's gonna be in a new location.
Oh yes, of course, he's got
lots of restaurants.
yes. He'll have everything around him within walking distance.
That's big.
And we have also nightclubs and bars in this area. And this is one of the most famous restaurants on the island. This is the Gianni's. The Gianni's. This is one of the famous restaurants in Aruba. And that's the Hilton right there. And then we have two Rio resorts in line. The first one is the Rio Palace. That's for the entire family. And the one next to it is the Rio Antillas. And the Rio Antillas is for adults only. Kids are not allowed there. This Rio Antillas, when it was built 25 years ago, no, that's a lie, about 40 years ago, it was the Concord, and then it became the Wyndham, and then the Westin, and now it's the Rio. And the reason why they keep changing from name and operator every 10 years is very simple.
Another Dutch.
Avoid we just left what we call the high-rise area, and now this here is the low-rise hotel area. We have only small hotels in this area, and you see there's another difference between the two areas. The other area we just left, the high-rise area, we have all the hotels on the beach side, most of them, and here in this low-rise area, Eagle area, we have all the hotels on the other side of the street, and on this side we have only beach. This is considered Aruba's #1 beach. This is the Eagle Beach. This beach has rated #3 in the world by the Trip Advisor. And this beach is also the favorite breeding place for the leatherback turtle. They come on land every year in the month of May, June to lay their eggs. The leatherback turtle, they are among the largest species of sea turtles in the world. The last one we had on land this year, she must have weighed around 400 to 500 pounds. It was a huge sea turtle. And they can lay up to 4 300 to 400 eggs in one time. It takes them about 4 hours to crawl on land. They dig a hole, lay their eggs, cover them with sand, and then they will go right back into the ocean. And the eggs will hatch in 7 to 8 weeks, and the babies will go immediately to the ocean. See here, another hotel under construction. Yeah, it's going to be quite big. They're building hotels like crazy on this tiny island. We are approaching our harbor. Will you please be so kind to take your ship cards in your hands, please?